Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shak and I'm back with another one. So this is my 32-week update. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So one of the main things, which I don't know why I keep forgetting to mention, is heartburn. It's an absolute bitch. Literally, I don't know if there's a difference between heartburn and acid reflux, but there is something going on in there and it's very, very uncomfortable. My mum always says literally all you need is like a tiny sip of milk, just like a bit of milk, but I don't drink dairy milk. So, I mean, on the odd occasion, once in a blue moon, I drink milk. Like the other day, I actually bought a little bottle of chocolate milk and it actually did work, it helped. But obviously, after that finished, about half an hour later, the heartburn was back. So yeah, heartburn is like a killer for me. It's literally the worst thing. And I don't really feel like it eases or gets any better. It's heartburn, isn't it? So that's one of them, heartburn, not the one. My backaches have definitely gotten worse. I think as she gets bigger, the more your back hurts. And then like for me, it's really important to sleep with a pillow underneath my stomach when I'm on my side, because the weight, being on my side and then the weight of baby like leaning down really gives me a backache. In the morning, like I wake up with like a proper uncomfortable backache. That is not the one either. I suppose things, I wouldn't say get worse, but I suppose there will be a lot more of uncomfortableness as the bigger you get, because obviously your baby's getting bigger, back hurts, there's less space in there, you feel tight, squashy, blah blah blah. One thing I will say that is definitely happening that I cannot stop is waddling. I literally cannot help the waddling at this point. And it's crazy because when you see people waddling, you think it's because of the weight of their belly. But for me, I waddle because, how do I explain it? So for me, when I have pelvic pressure, waddling actually relieves some of the pressure that I feel. Like if I was to walk straight, it hurts more, so you end up waddling. But it's not cute. Like I'm literally walking around like a penguin and it's just not the one. Yeah, waddling can't be helped. I don't know if I've seen some pregnant women, they don't waddle at all, they're absolutely fine. But for me, it can't be helped. Like the waddling is there and it's not going anywhere. And if anything, I'm just waddling even more now. So yeah. While we're on the topic of pelvic pressure, there is a lot of that now as well. I actually bought a pregnancy belt and like I love it. Let me show you. So this is the one that I bought. It's called Baby Go Pregnancy Support Belt. I would actually recommend this. Like it actually is a godsend. The first time I put it on, I remember I literally ran down the stairs and jumped like I was a child again, because it lifts some of baby and it takes off some of that pressure off your pelvis and in your back as well. It's quite supportive. So I would definitely recommend this. I got this from Amazon. I can't remember the exact price, but it was around 20 something, maybe £23. I'd have to double check, but obviously there's loads of different ones, but this one, Baby Go Pregnancy Support Belt, I would recommend this one simply because I bought it and so far it's worked well for me. So that's the one I've gotten. Pregnancy Support Belt there. Comes with about 3 parts. So you have a bit that you put on that goes around your back and your belly. Then you have like the big belt part that supports your back, and then you kind of tuck it underneath and tape it up and it lifts the belly. And then you also have a bit that goes on top, this bit that goes on top. I personally don't use that because I feel like it's a little bit squashing for me, and because the top strap is a lot smaller, it's tighter and more stretchy, it can be a little bit squashy for the top of your belly. So depending on how you feel, it works for you, it may work for you. That's it there. Obviously that just shows you how to put it on and all that stuff. The one thing I will say about the belt is I don't know if you can wear it while you're driving, but I choose not to because I find it to be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit squashy, and I'm a little bit paranoid that I'm squashing the baby. So, and obviously doing driving as a job, to have it on, to be driving all day and kind of be too squashed and compressed, I don't wear it while I'm driving. But if I go for a walk or if I'm going out shopping or a day out where I'm going to be on my feet, I wear it, and it really actually makes the biggest difference. You'd be so surprised. I didn't think it would work like that, but it's wicked. So yes, I would recommend this. So the fatigue and tiredness is definitely back. I literally need naps in my days, but obviously it's harder for me because I'm still at work, and at the same time I work like middle shift, so I start at lunchtime, finish around 9-10 o'clock. It's literally bang in the middle of the day, so there's no time for naps really. But I don't have long left at work, so once I start my maternity, believe I will be napping it up because I'm tired. In a nutshell, I'm just tired. And it's almost like the tiredness you had at the beginning of your pregnancy, like proper tired, it's back. But again, as your baby gets bigger, your body's probably working a bit more harder, you're using up a lot more energy. So I have turned into, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I've definitely turned into an early bird. Like, I'm always up early. If my partner gets up to get ready for the school run, or just in general, I wake up early now, can't help it. And I'm not someone who was an early bird, but I definitely am now. I'd say at around 30 weeks, or from 30 weeks onwards, there were some odd occasions of my feet swelling. Not crazy swelling, but I wear Vans a lot. I live in Vans, and obviously it got to a point where my feet were swelling and they were starting to rub into my shoes. And that's when I thought, okay, I'm actually starting to get a bit of fat feet. But that's only happened a couple of times, so I haven't actually, I have experienced some swelling feet, but not crazy. But I think the bigger baby gets, the more I'm probably going to start experiencing swollen feet. So that's another thing that I've started to experience. From 28 to 32 weeks, the swelling feet have started. So I had to go to the hospital. No, I had a hospital appointment for like just my checkups. And obviously every time you go to the hospital, you give them your folder, whatever, and you have to do a urine sample. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my last video, but a good few weeks ago, I had blood in my urine, but not just a bit of blood, like my wee was just straight red. So I had to go in. Long story short, turns out I had a urine infection. So I'd taken antibiotics, and literally as I had finished taking those antibiotics, the following week, I had the infection again. So when I went into the hospital and they asked for a urine sample, I was fine, weed in the morning, fine. Did my sample and it was red again. So I'm currently back on antibiotics, and then I found out that I have something called GBS. It's something you can get while you're pregnant, and I'm literally the worst for explaining this. Let me see if I can look it up actually, because I don't want to explain it wrong, so I'm going to quickly look it up so I can explain it to you. So GBS in pregnancy. So GBS stands for Group B strep. Didn't know that. Basically what my midwife had told me was, it's a type of bacteria that we have in our bodies. Whether we're pregnant or not, we have the bacteria in our bodies, but sometimes it just takes certain situations or certain things to make it flare up. So obviously being pregnant, you can get it more. It's a bacteria we all have in our bodies, but for some reason it tends to flare up in pregnancy. This says GBS bacteria can normally be found in about 25 to 30% of all healthy pregnant women. GBS is commonly found in the intestine, vagina and rectal area. Most women who are carriers of the bacteria will not have any symptoms. However, under certain circumstances, prenatal GBS infection of both the mother and or newborn can develop. In newborns, if GBS infection develops in the first week of life, it is termed early onset disease. If the GBS infection develops from 1 week to 3 months of age, it is referred to as a late onset disease. On average, approximately 1,000 babies in the United States develop early onset disease each year. In a nutshell, it's a bacteria you have in your body, but for some reason in pregnancy, this bacteria can come out, or whatever the word is, and can cause, for me, it causes me urine infection, which I've already had twice now during the pregnancy. So I'm currently on antibiotics, amoxicillin. They had me on something else before, but I'm guessing it didn't work, so they've got me on this now. And what's really annoying is because I have this GBS now, when I go into labour, as soon as my water breaks, I have to have a catheter in my hand, which I absolutely hate. And I know in the pregnancy there was a 50% chance I would have had to have it anyway, but I was really hoping not to. So I have to have a catheter in my hand, and then I'd have to be given antibiotics on a drip every 4 hours until she's born, because they're saying if I develop the infection while I'm in labour, if baby breathes that in, she can get sick. It's very rare. It's like 1 in some silly amount. It's very rare for the baby to catch that infection during labour. But just to avoid that happening, they want to put me on the drip. So every 4 hours I'll be given antibiotics until she's born. So yeah, that was a bit of a, what's the word? Bit of a letdown basically, because I feel like so far in my pregnancy I've been doing so well, and I've just reached so many milestones, and I'm very proud of my body that we've made it this far, given that I've lost one before. So it's just like, oh, so annoying. I was doing so well, but it's okay, she'll be fine. Like, it happens. It's very common in pregnancy. It's not something I knew, something I'm learning now, you know, being pregnant. But if anyone out there who finds out they have GBS, don't worry about it. Apparently it's very, very common, and as long as you're on antibiotics, you and baby will be fine. I've noticed a lot recently that baby gets a lot of hiccups. I made the mistake of Googling it. Don't Google it, it doesn't help. But what Google did say is that hiccups tends to be okay, but it could also be some pressure against your placenta, which can cause some type of hiccup or palpitation. I wasn't 100% sure. Before, whenever she used to get hiccups, I'd be like, oh, she's got hiccups, how cute, blah, blah, blah. But now it kind of worries me. So, but I spoke to my midwife about it, and she honestly said that it's very common, it's very normal, and it's most likely that if your baby gets a lot of hiccups in the womb, they'll probably just have hiccups when they come out, but it's nothing to worry about. So anyone experiencing that, I've been told it's really nothing to worry about. And you can just tell when it's hiccups because it's very frequent movement, or it's a very frequent little bump, and you just know, like when she moves, you see her, I feel her wriggle and you see her stick out and stuff. With the hiccups, it's always just in the same spot and in the same rhythm. You just know it's hiccups. But try not to let it worry me too much, because she gets it very, very often now, like 2-3 times in a day for about, nothing crazy, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes each time. But you know, because I made the mistake of looking it up, it has bothered me a little bit. But speaking to my midwife, she did help me to feel a lot better. So don't let it worry you too much. If your baby experiences hiccups, apparently it's very normal. If you do have worry, don't Google it, speak to your midwife. Google is not the one. Whenever you have any worry, this is what these 24-hour helplines and stuff are for. Do not Google it, call your midwife, because Google just does not help, and it just can just make you worry. So yeah. And lastly, I've actually finally developed a craving. I really like ice drinks, or just ice. Like, obviously I know we have had some warm days, but at the moment the weather has kind of changed. It's not freezing, but it's not hot weather like we've been having. But no matter the time of day or what the weather is, I want ice, and I cannot have a drink without the glass filled up with ice. I love eating it, I love everything about it. Ice is just everything to me. Like, I have a glass there, I literally just finished an ice drink, and after this video I'll be making another one. Quick update on my 28 to 32 weeks. I'm going to insert a clip of the bump because, as you know me, I'm always a little bit late. Take a look. So this is the bump at 34 weeks. Yes, I know I'm a little bit delayed again, but I thought I'd do a quick recording of the bump. She's getting there. I'm actually starting to feel the weight of her now as well. My wonky line. Here we are. So that's my update from 28 to 32 weeks. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section, and I'll see you in my 36-week update, which is 9 months. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.